You already know how this ends. The villain loses, the hero wins. Roll credits. But watch it again. Watch closely. That's not what happens. The hero almost never beats these villains. They destroy themselves. Think about it. Scar wasn't overthrown. He was already king. He'd won. Shen had his army, his cannons, a whole city on its knees. Syndrome had the entire family caged and helpless. Turbo ran the arcade for 15 years. Nobody even knew. Every one of them had already won. And then they threw it away. Not because the hero got stronger. Not because of one lucky punch. They lost because of something inside them. Something planted in the very first scene. Tai Lung's pride, Shen's fear, Syndrome's ego, Lotso's bitterness. The crack was there the whole time. Quiet, waiting. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You'll spot it in the first 10 minutes. You'll catch the exact moment they doom themselves, long before the hero shows up. So here's what I want you to do. Pick your favorite animated villain, the one you thought was untouchable. By the end of this video, you'll know why they never stood a chance. Not against the hero, against themselves. Let's start with the one who beat everyone in his path. The one who lost to the only enemy he couldn't punch, himself. But before he was the monster they buried under a mountain, he was a kid who just wanted his father to say he was proud of him. Keep that in mind, because it's the whole reason he loses. And if you make it to the end, I'll show you the one flaw. The flaw that connects every villain on this list. The single crack they all share. Stick around. It changes how you watch all of these movies. Tai Lung He's holding it. The Dragon Scroll.
Shifu had to destroy what he had created. But how could he?
The most powerful thing in the world. 20 years in a dungeon for this. His childhood, his father, his whole life poured into this one object. He opens it, and there's nothing there.
The power of the Dragon Scroll is mine! It's nothing!
Just gold. Just his own face staring back at him. No secret. No power. Nothing. And this is the exact moment Tai Lung loses. Not the final fight. Not the panda. Right here. Watch his face when you rewatch it. That's a man realizing he threw everything away for a mirror. Because make no mistake, he won. He broke out of the inescapable prison. He beat the Furious Five without trying. He beat Shifu, his own master. He climbed the steps and took the scroll in his hands. Nobody stopped him. He got everything he wanted, and it destroyed him. So here's the question the movie's really asking. Why does a man this powerful need a magic scroll at all? Because someone told him he was special before he was old enough to question it. Shifu raised him, trained him, pointed at him and said, this one is the chosen one. And Tai Lung built his entire soul on that promise.
But when Oogway said otherwise, what did you do? What did you do? Nothing!
So when Oogway looked at him and said no, it didn't feel like rejection. It felt like a lie. Like everything he was got erased in one sentence, and he turned to his father to fix it, to defend him. To say he's ready, Shifu said nothing. That silence is the wound. Everything after, the rampage, the 20 years, the obsession, it's all the same thing. One man trying to fill a hole where a father's approval should have been. Which brings us back to that scroll. Here's what the scroll actually says. Nothing. It's a mirror. The message is, you were always enough. The power was never out there.
There is no secret ingredient.
And that is the one sentence Tai Lung cannot survive. Think about what accepting it would mean. It'd mean the title didn't matter. The scroll didn't matter. 20 years of rage, for nothing. His pride would rather die than admit that. And the movie gives him one last way out. Go back and watch this beat. In the middle of their fight, Shifu stops, and finally says it. The words Tai Lung waited his whole life to hear. I was always proud of you. For 1 second, he freezes. The kid is still in there. You can see him.
I have always been proud of you.
And then he buries him. He doesn't want the apology. He wants the scroll.
I want my scroll!
He had his father back, and he chose the mirror instead. So when Po finishes him, understand what you're really watching. Po didn't beat Tai Lung. Tai Lung was beaten the moment he opened that scroll and couldn't stand what he saw. The panda just showed up for the ending. He spent his whole life believing he wasn't enough. That belief made him the most dangerous warrior alive. And that same belief is the only thing that ever killed him. Pride made him unstoppable. Pride is the only thing that stopped him. Now hold on to that word, pride, because there's a peacock who lost the exact same way. Except he didn't chase something he wanted. He ran from something he was terrified of, and ran straight into it. Lord Shen he was told exactly how he'd die. A warrior of black and white. That's the prophecy. That's who ends him. Most villains never get a warning. Shen got the whole map, and that's what kills him. Because here's the cruel part. When Shen heard that prophecy, it hadn't happened yet. It was a warning. A door still open. The soothsayer even tells him, change your path, and the future changes with it. He had a choice, so watch what he chooses. To make sure no black and white warrior can ever rise, he wipes out the pandas. An entire people. Gone. To beat a prophecy that hadn't come true. And think about what that actually does. One panda survives that night. A baby, carried off in a crate of radishes, raised by a goose, grows up soft and clumsy and kind, and grows up to be the dragon warrior. Let that sit for a second. The prophecy said a panda would defeat Shen. There was no panda coming for him, so Shen went and made one. Po only exists because Shen tried to erase him.
Now, answers.
Oh, you want to know so badly. You think knowing will heal you?
The trauma that makes Po the hero, losing his family, Shen caused that, with his own hands. He didn't run from his fate. He built it, fed it, sent it after himself. That's not a villain outsmarting destiny. That's a man so afraid of a story that he becomes the reason it comes true. And here's the thing. For a while, it works. Shen takes the city, kills a kung fu master, builds a weapon that makes kung fu itself obsolete.
It's almost done, Lord Shen, but we've run out of metal.
Search the farthest villages. Find more metal. China will be mine.
He's got an armada. He's sailing out to take all of China. He's winning. But the soothsayer keeps saying the same thing to him, over and over. Watch how she says it. She tells him the fear is the disease, not the panda, not the prophecy, the running. She tells him,
we shall see, Shen.
Oh, you shall see, oh goat.
The cup you choose to fill has no bottom. No amount of conquering will ever be enough, because he's not really trying to rule China. He's trying to feel safe, and you can't build enough cannons for that. So we get to the end. His fleet's destroyed, his weapons broken. Po's standing right in front of him, and Po does something a hero almost never does. He offers him peace. Go back and watch this exchange. It's the whole movie in 30 seconds. Po tells him scars heal.
Everything. I scarred you for life.
Shen says no, they don't. Po tells him the only thing that matters is what you choose to be now. The past is done. Let it go. And Shen actually agrees. You're right, he says. Then I choose this. And he attacks. He had the answer handed to him. Peace. A way out. The thing the whole film was building toward. And his fear wouldn't let him take it. So watch how he actually dies. This part matters. Po doesn't kill him. Nobody kills him. In that last attack, Shen cuts a rope himself. And his own broken cannon, the weapon he built to feel safe, falls and crushes him. His fear built the weapon. His fear created the hero. And in the end, his fear dropped the weapon on his own head. That's the tragedy of Lord Shen. He spent his whole life trying to escape one moment. And every single step he took to escape it walked him closer. Tai Lung couldn't let go of what he wanted. Shen couldn't let go of what he feared. Different flaw, same ending. They both had a door open, and both slammed it shut themselves. But at least those two knew they were the villain. The next one didn't. The next one thought he was the hero.
No, I'm a new superhero! I'm Syndrome!
And that's exactly what makes him the most dangerous of them all. Syndrome. He genuinely thinks he's the good guy. That's the part people miss about Syndrome. He's not trying to rule the world. He's not after money or revenge on humanity. He just wants to be a hero, desperately. And that's what makes him lose. Because go back to the very beginning. Before the muscles and the robots, he's just a kid. A kid who worshipped Mr. Incredible, made his own suit, showed up ready to be the sidekick, and his hero told him to go home.
I can fly. Can you fly?
Fly home, buddy. I work alone.
Oui, et ta tenue est complètement ridicule!
That's it. That's the whole wound. One rejection, and a brilliant little boy decided, fine, if you won't let me be super, I'll make sure nobody is. Now here's where you have to actually respect the plan. Because it's terrifyingly smart. Syndrome builds a killer robot. Then he lures real superheroes to fight it, one by one. Each one dies, making the robot stronger. He murdered dozens of heroes, not out of hate, as research, to perfect the machine. And then the finale. He unleashes that robot on a city, so he can swoop in, beat it in front of everyone, and become the hero the world adores.
Keep this hunk of metal a few manners!
It's flawless. He's about to win. He's rich. He's got the whole Incredible family caged. He's got the technology to make it real. Nobody can stop him. So watch how he beats himself. He's got Mr. Incredible completely at his mercy. One move and it's over. And instead of finishing him, he talks. He explains the whole plan. Struts, gloats, savors it. Because beating his hero quietly means nothing to him. He needs Mr. Incredible to see it, to know, to be impressed. And the movie is so aware of this that Syndrome says it out loud. Rewatch this line. You sly dog. You got me monologuing.
You sly dog! You got me monologuing! I can't...
Those few seconds of showing off, that's all Mr. Incredible needs to get away. His need to be admired hands the hero the exit. But that's not even the flaw that kills him. Earlier in the film, there's a scene everyone remembers and nobody clocks as a warning. Edna Mode refuses to make Mr. Incredible a cape, and she lists them. Heroes, real ones, killed by their own capes, sucked into engines, snagged on rockets, dead, because of a costume, no capes. Now, what is Syndrome wearing at the end? A cape. Of course he's wearing a cape, because a cape looks heroic, and looking heroic is the only thing he's ever actually wanted. So when he loses, watch exactly how. He climbs into his jet to escape, and his cape, his beautiful, dramatic hero cape, gets caught in the turbine and pulls him in. The movie warned you, twice, once with Edna, and once at the very start, when little Incrediboy nearly died because of a bomb stuck to that same cape. It was always going to be the cape, because the cape isn't a costume. It's his ego, made of fabric. He'd rather look like a hero than survive as a nobody. And that choice, that exact vanity, it reaches out and drags him into the engine. Tai Lung died for a title. Shen died for his fear. Syndrome died for an image, for the way he looked in the mirror. And here's the quiet horror of it. He was right about one thing. He really could have been a hero. The talent was real. The genius was real. One rejection twisted all of it into a costume he died in. He wanted the world to look at him and see something super. In the end, the only thing that was ever really super was his ego. So far, every villain has lost something. A father, a future, a dream. The next one lost the one thing you can never get back. And instead of healing from it, he decided everyone else should hurt too. Lotso, this is the villain who smells like strawberries.
Here at Sunnyside, we've got, well, just about anything a toy could ask for.
Spare parts, super glue.
A hugging bear. Soft, warm. The kind of toy you'd hand a crying kid. And he's the most heartless one on this entire list. But here's what makes Lotso different. He wasn't born cruel. He was loved. Once, there was a girl named Daisy, and she adored him. He was her favorite. The one she carried everywhere. The one she couldn't sleep without. For a while, Lotso had everything a toy could ever want. And then one day, she left him behind. Not on purpose. An accident. A drive, a rest stop, a nap in the sun. And she was gone.
She never came back.
But Lotso didn't know that. He just knew he had to get back to her. So watch what he does. He fights his way home. Miles of it. Doesn't give up. He finally makes it back to Daisy's house. And through the window, he sees her, playing, happy, with a brand new Lotso. Replaced. Same face, same fur, same name.
Then, it was too late.
like he never existed at all. And in that second, he's standing in the dark, watching himself be loved by someone who forgot him. Something snapped. Now, a lot of toys get lost. That's the tragedy of being a toy, but most of them carry the love anyway. Lotso couldn't. He took the wound and he built a kingdom out of it. He finds a daycare, and he takes it over completely, runs it like a prison. Surveillance, enforcers, new toys thrown to the wildest, most destructive kids to get broken. He's not trying to be happy anymore. He gave up on that. He's trying to make sure no toy ever believes in love again, because he doesn't. Watch how he does it. He finds another lost toy, Big Baby, who still holds on to a pendant that says Daisy. Still remembers being loved, and Lotso smashes it.
Push them in, all of them!
Rips the last piece of hope out of another toy's hands, because if he's not allowed to be loved, no one is. And for most of the movie, it works. He's untouchable. He's got Woody and the whole gang trapped, riding a conveyor belt straight into a furnace. He's won, completely. But then the movie does something brutal. It gives him a choice. There's a stop button, right there, in his reach. Woody and Buzz just saved his life seconds earlier. Now every one of them is about to burn. And all Lotso has to do is push the button. 1 second, one choice. He could be good again. Go back and watch his face here, because you can see him decide. And he walks away. He leaves them to die. And he shouts one line back at Woody as he goes. Where's your kid now? That's the moment, not the garbage truck at the end. Right there, at the button. He had redemption in his hand, and his bitterness chose the fire. Here's a detail that'll stay with you. The people who made this movie tested it with an audience, and the audience begged for Lotso to push that button, to be saved. The filmmakers said no, on purpose, because Lotso was never going to push it. That's who bitterness makes you. So watch where he ends up. Not dead, worse, tied to the front of a garbage truck, out in the open, for good. The bear who couldn't stand being thrown away, gets thrown away, permanently. Tai Lung lost a title, Shen lost to his fear, Syndrome lost to his ego, Lotso lost the one thing you actually can't rebuild. He lost being loved, and instead of mourning it, he weaponized it. The saddest part? He was right about one small thing. Kids do grow up, toys do get left behind. It does hurt, but every other toy in that movie learned to carry the love anyway. Lotso's the only one who let it rot. He smelled like strawberries, and he was rotten all the way through. Now, every villain so far broke a rule to get what they wanted. The next one didn't break any rules. He didn't even want to be evil. He was just a good man, who ran out of options. And that might be the scariest one of all. Waternoose. This villain isn't cruel.
Yeah, sir, can you might be Yes, I'm coming. All right, then, I'll see you this afternoon, James. That is, if these gentlemen haven't shut us down.
He isn't greedy. He isn't even angry. He's scared, and he's out of time. That's it. That's the whole monster. Mr. Waternoose runs Monsters Incorporated. He's run it his whole life. His father ran it. His grandfather built it. 3 generations. And it's dying on his watch. Because the whole world runs on one thing. Children screaming. That's their power. That's the electricity. Monsters scare kids, kids scream, the city stays lit, and kids just aren't scared anymore. The screams are drying up, the lights are flickering, an entire civilization is about to go dark. And every eye is on the man in charge. So watch him carefully, because this is what makes him different from every villain we've talked about. He doesn't want power. He doesn't want revenge. He just wants to save his company, and his city, and the jobs of everyone who depends on him. Those are good motives. That's the trap. But a scared man protecting something he loves will do terrible things to keep it. So here's the line he crosses. If kids won't scream on their own anymore, he'll take it from them. By force. A machine. It straps a child down and rips the scream right out of them. He teams up with the film's real snake to build it, and he's ready to kidnap children, as many as it takes. Rewatch the line where he says it. There's no evil grin. He says it like a man who's already made peace with something ugly. I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I let this company die.
What, kidnapping children? I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I let this company die, and I'll silence anyone who gets in my way!
And that's the horror of Waternoose. He's not cackling. He believes he's being responsible. He thinks he's the only one brave enough to do what has to be done. But here's the flaw. The real one. The one that dooms him. He never once stops to ask if there's another way. Because there is. And the movie shows it to you almost by accident. Sully makes the little girl laugh, and that laugh produces far more power than any scream ever could. Far more. The answer to the entire energy crisis. Sitting right there the whole time. Waternoose spent his life certain there was only one way to make power. Fear. He was so locked into that one idea that he'd kidnap children before he'd ever question it. The solution wasn't hard. It wasn't hidden. It was just different. And he couldn't see different. That's his flaw. Not evil. Tunnel vision. Desperation so total it blinds you to the exit sign right next to the door. So watch how he goes down. Because it fits him perfectly. He corners Sully. He's threatening a child. He lays the whole plan out. Every ugly detail. Certain he's finally in control. And then the lights come up. It was a setup. The whole room was fake. And Mike recorded every word.
I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I let this company die. I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I...
He confessed. Out loud. On tape. To a crime he was so sure was necessary that he never imagined he'd have to hide it. His certainty is what convicts him. And even as they take him away, watch. He still doesn't get it. He screams that Sully destroyed the company. That the energy crisis will only get worse now. Because of you. He never once realizes the answer was laughter. He dies certain he was right. That's the tragedy. Tai Lung couldn't let go of a title. Shen couldn't let go of his fear. Waternoose couldn't let go of the only idea he'd ever known. Here's the detail that lingers. So far, every villain believed they were doing the right thing. For themselves, or their family, or their world. The next one is different. The next one knew exactly what she was. And she hid it behind the sweetest face on this list. Because the most dangerous villain is the one you'd never suspect. Bellwether, look at her. Really look. A small sheep. Glasses. A soft little voice and a nervous laugh.
If you ever need anything, okay? You've always got a friend at City Hall, Judy. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
She fetches coffee. She gets pushed around. She is the last animal in that entire city you'd ever be afraid of. And that is the single most dangerous thing about her. Because everyone underestimates Dawn Bellwether. Everyone. She's the assistant mayor, which sounds important. It isn't. She does the work, the big lion takes the credit, and nobody remembers her name. Watch this tiny detail on her desk when you rewatch the movie. A coffee mug. It says, World's Greatest Dad. Except, Dad is scratched out, and she's scrawled Assistant Mayor on top of it. She didn't even get her own mug. She got a hand-me-down someone threw out. That's her whole life in one prop. Overlooked. Secondhand, invisible.
So proud of you, Judy. You did just a super job.
Thank you, ma'am.
And here's the thing the movie wants you to feel. For most of it, you're on her side. She helps the hero. She calls herself one of the little guys. When she says she's tired of being underestimated, you nod. You get it. That's the trap. Because that resentment isn't harmless. It's been curdling for years. So here's what she's actually been building. A drug. Made from a flower. One hit turns the city's predators feral, savage, monsters. Her plan is to dose them, one by one. Let the city watch predators turn. Let fear do the rest. And she's got the numbers. Prey outnumber predators 10-1 in that city. 90% of the population, united against a common enemy. Her words. She frames the mayor, takes his job, becomes the most powerful animal in the city.
Right to remain silent.
You don't understand! I was trying to protect the city!
You were just trying to protect your job.
The one nobody ever looked at twice. It works. It completely works. She wins. She's got the hero cornered. She's got the serum. She's got the whole city eating out of her hand.
What are you going to do? Kill me?
Oh, no, of course not. He is.
No! Oh, Nick.
Nobody suspects the sheep, so watch how she throws it all away. She's got Judy and Nick trapped. She's about to win for good, and all she has to do is pull the trigger and walk away. But she doesn't walk away. She talks. She stands there and explains the entire scheme. Every step, why she did it, how she did it, what comes next. Because after a lifetime of being invisible, somebody is finally looking at her, finally afraid of her, finally impressed, and she can't resist it. She has to be seen pulling it off. Sound familiar? It's the exact same Death Syndrome died. The villain who's already won, who cannot stop themselves from gloating about it. The need to be admired. The need to finally matter. It's the thing she wanted her whole life, and it's the thing that ends her. Because the whole time she's monologuing, the hero is recording every word.
Keep it that way.
It's your word against yours. It's called a hustle, sweetheart.
Her confession, on tape, handed to her out of pure pride. Rewatch that scene. Bellwether thinks she's the one in control. She's the one being played. The sheep who was underestimated her entire life loses because she underestimated a rabbit. And that's the poetry of it. Everything she hated, being overlooked, being dismissed, being the small one nobody takes seriously. And she does the exact same thing to Judy. Writes her off. Assumes she's already beaten. The victim of being underestimated becomes the villain who underestimates. And it costs her everything.
Former Mayor Dawn Bellwether is behind bars today.
Tai Lung lost to pride. Bellwether lost to it too. Just wearing a nicer sweater. She didn't need to say a word. Her plan was airtight. Her freedom was one silent trigger pull away. But being quiet meant no one would ever know how clever she'd been. And she'd rather be caught than invisible again. She spent her whole life desperate to be seen. In the end, she finally was. Through the bars of a cell. Now, every villain on this list so far had power. Real power, muscle, weapons, control, a machine. The last one had none of that. No strength, no army, nothing. Just a piece of paper. And he almost won with it. Because the most dangerous weapon of all isn't a cannon or a robot. It's the fine print. Rumpelstiltskin. This one never throws a punch.
Nobody needs your deals anymore, Grumple Stinky Pants!
No powers, no army, no muscle. He's small and loud and honestly kind of pathetic. And he comes closer to total victory than any villain on this entire list. All he has is a piece of paper and a pen. Meet Rumpelstiltskin. And to understand him, you have to understand how much he already lost. Years ago, he had a deal. The king and queen of the whole kingdom were about to sign everything over to him. The crown, the land, all of it. His. The pen was in their hand. And at the last possible second, someone rescued their daughter. So they tore the contract up, and Rumpel got nothing. The person who ruined him? An ogre. Named Shrek. So this isn't really about power for Rumpel. It's about a grudge. He wants the kingdom he was cheated out of. And he wants the ogre who cheated him to suffer. Now here's where he gets dangerous. Because watch how he wins. It's genius. He finds Shrek at his lowest. Tired. Trapped. Wishing he could feel like a real ogre again.
Yeah, it's me, Granny.
An ogre! Oh, please, Mr. Ogre, please don't eat me!
I'm not gonna eat you.
Just for one day. And Rumpel offers him exactly that. One day to be a feared ogre again. In exchange for one day from his childhood. A day Shrek won't even remember. Sounds harmless. Shrek signs it.
You signed it?
So, tell me, what happens now?
Have a nice day.
But Rumpel didn't take just any day. He took the day Shrek was born. Think about what that does. If Shrek was never born, he never rescued that princess. Which means the king and queen never tore up the contract. Which means Rumpelstiltskin becomes king of everything. He didn't just beat Shrek. He erased him. Deleted him from history. And crowned himself with the empty space Shrek left behind. That is the closest any villain here ever gets.
I ended Fiona's curse.
How could you, when you never existed?
He rewrote reality itself. He won so completely that his enemy technically never existed. So how do you beat a man who's already deleted you from time? You don't. He beats himself, same as all the others. And his flaw is the one that's been hiding in plain sight the whole segment. Greed. And the arrogance that always rides shotgun with it.
Where's Fiona? Where's my family?
Ah, silly little ogre. You don't get it, do you?
Rewatch how he talks. He can't stop reminding everyone how clever he is. Nobody's smart but me. He believes it completely. And that belief makes him sloppy in two ways that cost him the entire kingdom. First, every contract he's ever written has a loophole, a way out. True love's kiss breaks the spell. He's so sure no one will ever find it. So sure of his own genius. So he leaves the exit door built right into his own trap. He never seals it. Arrogance. And second, his greed. When Shrek slips loose, Rumpel gets desperate to catch him. So he offers a reward. Anything you want. Anything at all. Just bring me the ogre.
And get your mob on!
Watch what happens next. It's beautiful. Shrek walks up and turns himself in to claim the reward. And he uses that anything you want to free every ogre in the kingdom.
That means you have to give me anything I want.
Only true love's kiss can break your contract.
Rumpel's own greedy deal, the one he offered to win, hands the enemy the tools to beat him. And that loophole he was too arrogant to close? Fiona kisses Shrek. The spell breaks. The whole stolen kingdom shatters into nothing. He rewrote all of reality and forgot to proofread it. That's Rumpelstiltskin. He didn't lose because Shrek was stronger. Shrek isn't stronger. Shrek was deleted. He lost because his own cleverness was a trap he built for himself. The loophole was his. The reward was his. The pen was always in his hand. The smartest villain in the room, undone by the fine print he wrote. So that's 9 of them. 9 villains. 9 completely different movies. Tai Lung and his pride. Shen and his fear. Syndrome and his ego. Lotso and his bitterness. Waternoose and his blindness. Bellwether and her resentment. And Rumpel and his greed. 7 flaws. 7 downfalls. They all look different. But go back to the very beginning of this video. I promised you something. I told you there was one crack every single one of them shares. One thing hiding underneath all 7 flaws. You've probably started to feel it already. So let's name it. Here's what nobody tells you about these villains. Every single one of them had already won. Tai Lung had the scroll in his hands. Scar was king. Shen had his armada. Syndrome had the whole family caged. Lotso ran his kingdom. Waternoose held all the power. Bellwether had the city. Rumpel rewrote reality itself. They won. And then they lost anyway. Not to the hero. Look closely and you'll see it now. The hero barely does anything. Poe shows up for the ending. Judy just presses record. Woody just says a name. The heroes didn't beat these villains. The villains beat themselves. But here's the part that'll stay with you. The part that changes how you watch every one of these movies from now on. Go back and look at each of them again. Really look. Every one of them was offered a way out. Tai Lung's father told him he was proud of him. That's all he ever wanted. It was right there. Poe offered Shen peace. A clean slate. Let it go. Lotso had a button. One push, and he's a hero again. Waternoose had laughter. More power, no child harmed. Right in front of him. Syndrome could have just been a hero. He had the talent. Bellwether could have stayed silent and walked away free. Rumpel just had to stay humble. Every single one. The movie stopped, held out its hand, and said, "You can change. Right now. It's not too late." And every single one of them said no. Tai Lung wanted the scroll more than his father. Shen wanted his revenge more than his peace. Lotso wanted everyone to hurt more than he wanted to heal. They didn't lose because they were weak. They lost because they refused to let go. That's the crack. That's the one thing all of them share. It was never the hero. They lost to the version of themselves that refused to change. And once you see that, you can't watch these movies the same way again. Because that's not a cartoon thing. That's not a villain thing. That's the most human thing there is. Think about it honestly for a second. Everybody's holding on to some version of a blank scroll. Some title they think they need. Some old wound they won't put down. Some fear they keep running from. Straight into it. We've all got a red button in front of us somewhere. A moment where letting go is right there. And pride, or fear, or bitterness whispers, "No, not yet. Not you." The villains aren't the warning because they're evil. They're the warning because they're us. Turned all the way up. That's why these stories last. That's why a kid's movie about a kung fu panda can knock the wind out of a grown adult. Because deep down, you know. The scroll was always blank. The power was always in letting go. Tai Lung could have been free. Shen could have had peace. Lotso could have been loved again. All they had to do was change. They couldn't. The real question the movie's been asking you this whole time isn't why did the villain lose? It's when your moment comes, and the hand reaches out, and everything in you says don't, will you? The hero never beats the villain. We beat ourselves. Or we don't. That's the whole story. If this changed the way you see even one of these movies, you already know what to do. Go watch it again. I promise you'll catch the exact moment they choose to lose. But here's what I couldn't fit in this video. Before every one of these villains threw it all away, they got terrifyingly close to winning. Not close. Inches. One different choice. 1 second earlier. And the hero loses. Every time. That's the next video. How every great animated villain almost won. The moments the good guys should never have survived. It's on your screen right now. Go watch how close we all came to a very different ending. And subscribe if you want to see the villain in every story a little more clearly. Because now you know the secret. They never lost to the hero. Neither will you.